You can lie with words. You can twist stories. You can paint a smile on your face and convince the world that everything is fine. But your body doesn't care about your scripts. It tells secrets you don't even know you're keeping. The hands that tremble when no one is looking. The chest that tightens before a lie even leaves your lips. The eyes that flicker to the corners where no one else sees it all speaks louder than any story you try to sell. Truth isn't polite. Truth doesn't wait for confession. Truth waits inside you, pacing, breathing, reminding everyone that what's hidden on the surface is never hidden beneath. The skin the body speaks when words fail. And it does so with honesty that's brutal, unfiltered, impossible to ignore. You can dress yourself in confidence, armor your sentences with rehearsed charm, and paint smiles over fractures in your mind. But the body doesn't negotiate with lies. It whispers secrets in trembling hands, clenched jaws, shifting eyes, subtle shifts in posture that your mind insists are invisible. Words can be controlled, delayed, censored. But the body doesn't follow the same rules. It speaks first, loudly enough for anyone paying attention to hear, quietly enough for you to forget you're betraying yourself in every gesture. It starts with small betrayals, the tightening of shoulders when you lie about being fine, the quick glance away when guilt crosses your path, the sudden tap of a foot when anxiety builds a rhythm you didn't ask for. Each movement is a signal, a signature, a stamp of your hidden truth that refuses to stay buried. You think no one notices that your carefully crafted words carry the story, but the body has already narrated the prelude, the chapter of discomfort, the hidden tension that no one can rewrite. Hands are the first traitors. They shake when fear overpowers control, curl into fists when anger simmers beneath. Polite tones brush nervously against the edge of a table when doubt walks in with you. Even when your mind says calm, your hands say otherwise. They speak a language older than speech, older than culture, instinctive, primal. And it's not just your hands, it's everything that moves because you move, everything that breathes because you can't stop breathing, everything that pulses because life refuses to be quiet. Posture becomes a confessional. You slump when disappointment follows you. You tense when expectation presses down. You lean away from truth you'd rather avoid. These are silent admissions that scream louder than your carefully chosen phrases. The body remembers what the mind forgets. It remembers fear, shame, longing, frustration, anger. And even if your lips are smiling, even if your voice is steady, the body carries a diary no one else can read fully, but anyone perceptive enough can interpret. Breath is another speaker. Rapid inhalations reveal panic. Shallow, clipped exhalations hint at restraint. The rhythm of breathing accelerates with excitement or dread, slows with fatigue or defeat. You can control your tone, your words, your volume, but controlling the body's need for oxygen is another matter entirely. Each heartbeat, each pulse, each twitch is an unintended confession. You can't stage it. You can't mute it. The body is a living scoreboard of your truth. The eyes are treacherous storytellers. They flicker to corners, dart toward exits, widen in fear, narrow in suspicion. Pupils dilate, pupils constrict. They betray curiosity, suspicion, attraction, deception, relief, dread. You can try to direct them, fix them on a point, mask their motion. But the eyes are wired to respond before thought. They betray instinct before reason, exposing what you hoped no one would see. Someone watches carefully, and suddenly your inner world is on display without a single word leaving your mouth. Even the smallest muscles participate. A jaw twitch, a lip bite, a foot tap, a shoulder twitch. The micro-expressions your brain thinks it hides, they form a mosaic of honesty. Each fragment is subtle, often dismissed, but together they tell a story your mind never intended to reveal. The body doesn't lie, because it doesn't think in lies. It reacts, it responds, it mirrors your truth. You can stage rehearsals, memorize scripts, craft lies, but the body speaks first, and the body speaks best. Pain, fatigue, excitement, fear, love, these leave marks on the skin, in the veins, in the rhythm of movement. Tension gathers in muscles, slackens in relaxation, shifts in posture, changes gait. Your body communicates long before your mouth finds a voice, long before your mind has made a decision. And even when you deny, even when you rationalize, even when you fight perception, the body whispers louder than reason. Every person carries this living language, and every moment of hiding truth is a moment your body betrays it. It doesn't matter if you are careful, clever, charismatic, or composed. Every heartbeat, every twitch, every tremor, every breath, every blink, every shift, every unguarded muscle is a sentence you never spoke. And the audience doesn't need permission to understand. They only need attention. The body is honest when you cannot be. And in the theater of life, silence, posture, motion, and breath tell the story. Long before words ever arrive, hidden emotions reveal themselves physically. Even when your mind fights to bury them, you can craft a mask, train your face to hold the neutral smile, practice steady breathing, rehearse calm words. But the body doesn't follow scripts. It remembers. It reacts. It broadcasts what you pretend to hide. The tightness in your chest, the twitch in your fingers, the subtle quiver of your lips, all of it is an unsanctioned confession. A leak from the vault your mind thought was locked. You can lie to yourself, you can lie to others, but your body is a storyteller that refuses censorship. It starts small, in ways that seem almost imperceptible. A shoulder that rises when tension hits, hand that brushes against a surface with more force than necessary, a foot tapping a rhythm that betrays impatience or anxiety. These signals are fleeting, microscopic, easy to miss, yet they carry volumes. They are the cracks in the facade, the subtle tremors in a wall built to contain emotion. You may think no one notices, but people do. People see patterns. They see the tremor in the voice, the blink that lingers too long, the flicker of the eye that doesn't match the smile. Anger, fear, sadness, longing, they all have signatures your body can't hide. A jaw clenches when frustration blooms. Shoulders hunch under invisible weight. Breathing quickens when panic seeps in, and pulses race before the mind can rationalize the cause. Even when your words are calm, even when your face is neutral, the body is quietly screaming what you cannot admit. It's a contradiction that can't be rehearsed, a truth that slips past the most careful of lips. The eyes are especially revealing. They are windows, yes, but not just metaphorically. They are regulators of emotion. Pupils dilate with interest, constrict with doubt, flicker with unease. They betray excitement, guilt, fear, and desire without consulting the conscious mind. Someone trained in observation doesn't need confessions, they just need to watch the eyes. The subtle micro-expressions that dance for a split second before being smoothed over. The corner of the mouth that tightens. The brief narrowing or widening of the gaze. These are all signs of emotion refusing to be contained. Even posture speaks. Leaning away, crossing arms, shifting weight from one foot to another, these aren't random movements. They are declarations. You can claim you're relaxed, you can claim neutrality, but your body archives your feelings and shows them anyway. Stress, discomfort, joy, guilt, they all ripple through muscles, skin, and movement. A trembling hand or a restless leg is not mere accident. It's a language that cannot be suppressed, a signal of internal turbulence. Physical reactions to emotion aren't limited to obvious movements. Heart rate, sweat, tension, and subtle twitches all broadcast inner states. The body doesn't strategize, it responds. It reacts to stimuli before the mind can intervene. That's why someone can hear a lie, feel a lie, sense hesitation, long before the words themselves are processed. And the more intense the emotion, the louder the body speaks. Concealment is never perfect because control is never absolute. Even expressions you believe are neutral are rarely so. Micro-expressions, those involuntary flashes of genuine feeling, appear for a fraction of a second and leave traces. They are the emotional residue of your truth. Happiness might flash too quickly, revealing sarcasm or forced cheer. Fear or doubt might peek through a smirk. These are the cracks through which reality seeps, the moments when the internal world escapes the confines of the carefully constructed exterior. The body also remembers long after the moment has passed. Trauma, shame, regret, joy all leave imprints in muscle memory, posture, and habitual gestures. You may speak differently, walk differently, even breathe differently, without realizing it, carrying emotions that are otherwise unspoken. And even if you believe you've buried a feeling, the body retains it. The flicker of a glance, the slight tremor, the tightening of a hand, these are the ghosts of your emotions revealing themselves without permission. Hidden emotions, no matter how carefully masked, cannot remain invisible. They leak, they pulse, they twitch, they move. The body refuses silence when the mind commands it. And in the theater of human interaction, these subtle signs become louder than words, revealing what you struggle to conceal, declaring truth that your mouth fears to speak, and offering the audience a glimpse into the private storms raging beneath. The calm surface attention and posture betray inner conflict in ways words never can. You think you're hiding it, that you can mask uncertainty with a smile or a steady tone. But your body doesn't play along. Every muscle remembers what your mind wants to ignore. Shoulders stiffen under invisible weight, necks tighten under the pressure of unspoken doubt, hands curl and uncurl without permission. You think you're standing tall, but the spine remembers stress, and every movement broadcasts hesitation before a single word leaves your lips. Posture is the unspoken language of conflict. When fear or anxiety seeps in, even the smallest gestures shift. A lean backward signals withdrawal. A step forward might betray aggression or defensiveness. Crossing arms isn't just habit, it's a shield. It's a quiet warning to the world that you are not fully available, that the mind is negotiating internally with an invisible opponent. And the world notices, even when your face says calm. Tension lives in the body, and posture is its punctuation. The body's betrayal is subtle, almost invisible, but relentless. Muscles twitch when emotions spike. The chest rises unevenly when stress presses. The jaw tightens before reason can intervene. Every heartbeat sends vibrations through your limbs that speak of unrest. Even your hands tell stories the way they hover, fidget, or press against surfaces when nothing in the room is moving you. They are tiny witnesses to the war inside, recording moments of conflict you thought no one would see. Movement becomes a mirror of inner turbulence. You walk differently when anxious, pacing slightly faster, shifting weight as if trying to balance uncertainty. You sit differently when uncomfortable, leaning forward too much, or retreating into the chair. Even a subtle shift of the head, a tilt toward or away, signals your mind's wrestling with what to say, how to act, what to hide. The body doesn't wait for conscious permission. It reacts instinctively, betraying your mental state in ways words cannot match. Tension isn't only physical, it radiates energy that others unconsciously detect. The stiff hand, the rigid shoulders, the clenched jaw, they send signals to everyone in proximity. People don't always know why they feel unease around you, but your posture and tension broadcast it like a radio signal. The body doesn't lie. Even if your mind is smooth, even if your words are crafted, tension seeps out in subtle ways. Others feel it before they hear anything, sensing the story your lips haven't told yet. Inner conflict etches itself into micro-movements. Fingertips drum lightly, legs bounce involuntarily, eyes dart to corners they should not. These tiny gestures are evidence, fragments of your truth leaking into the world without permission. You might not notice them, thinking you're composed, thinking no one is watching, but the body doesn't lie. It registers fear, indecision, doubt, frustration, excitement, all before your brain has had time to rationalize. Even breathing betrays internal struggle. Shallow, quick breaths speak of anxiety. Long, drawn-out sighs reveal tension or fatigue. The rhythm of inhalation and exhalation can accelerate or stall depending on what's being processed inside. You may smile, you may nod, you may speak confidently, but the chest is still a drum echoing the state of the mind. Breathing is involuntary, yet it communicates more truth than your carefully curated words. Posture and tension also interact, creating patterns that others can read. Leaning forward with tight shoulders may indicate stress trying to push outward. Leaning back with crossed arms may signal withdrawal or hesitation. Every angle, every contraction, every movement becomes part of an invisible sentence, spelling out what your mind refuses to admit. And the more you resist, the more evident it becomes. The body doesn't negotiate with pretense, it simply responds. Conflict is internal first, then external. Tension travels outward like ripples on water. Your posture, your movements, your gestures, they carry your unease into the environment, influencing reactions, shaping perceptions, dictating interaction. You may speak calmly, but the body has already told the story, and because the story is physical, it's undeniable. Tension and posture don't just reveal inner conflict. They amplify it, make it visible, make it unavoidable, a living testimony to the turmoil you try so desperately to conceal. Micro-expressions expose unspoken truths, tiny flashes of reality that slip past every filter you try to impose. You think you're hiding, that your face, your posture, your words, enough to convince the world you are calm, collected, in control. But micro-expressions are impatient. They last milliseconds, barely noticeable to the untrained eye, yet they carry the weight of honesty. A twitch of the mouth, a quick narrowing of the eyes, a fleeting lift of the brow, each one a confession you didn't intend to give. These micro-moments are reflexive. They don't wait for your conscious mind to catch up. Anger, fear, desire, guilt, they erupt, unbidden, and vanish almost as quickly as they appear, leaving only a trace. You think no one saw it. You hope the fleeting nature is enough to hide the truth. But subtlety doesn't equate to invisibility. Those who are watching, those who know how to look, catch them, and once caught, micro-expressions speak louder than any carefully constructed sentence, louder than any rehearsed smile or deliberate denial. It starts in the eyes. The pupils dilate, the eyelids flicker, the corners twitch ever so slightly, even when you maintain a neutral gaze. The eyes betray what the mind is racing to contain. Surprise, worry, suspicion, interest, all of it flashes in the tiny muscles surrounding the eyes before you can intervene. You may look composed, but the micro-movements betray hesitation, doubt, or conflict. The eyes are merciless. They are honest before the brain can censor them, translating your hidden emotions into signals anyone paying attention can read. Mouth is another unwilling informant. A smile can twitch too quickly, a lip can bite down for a split second. A frown can appear and vanish like a shadow across your features. You think a practiced mask will fool others, but micro-expressions are faster than masks, quicker than thought, impossible to fully control. They leave traces in memory, little imprints that observers notice even if they cannot articulate why something feels off. Every fleeting twitch is a hint of what you're not saying. Even the smallest muscle movements participate. A subtle raise of a shoulder, a tiny lift of a hand, a brief tension in the jaw. These moments are physical punctuation marks in the story your face refuses to tell. Micro-expressions are honesty distilled, compressed into fragments of a second that speak volumes. They carry intention, emotion, and conflict, often revealing what you would give anything to conceal. The body doesn't wait for consent to reveal the truth. It leaks, it signals, it speaks in flashes that linger in perception, long after they vanish from sight. Micro-expressions expose contradiction. You may be saying one thing while your face briefly contradicts it, a wink of doubt, or fear that betrays your confidence. The human brain is hardwired to notice these inconsistencies. Others feel them intuitively before they can articulate them. They know something is off, even if they can't say what, and it terrifies you, because you understand what they can sense. The truth doesn't always need words to be understood. These tiny betrayals are universal. Every human exhibits them, no matter how practiced, no matter how skilled at deception. Lies need more than words. They need the body to cooperate. And micro-expressions do not negotiate. They are lightning fast, subtle, merciless, revealing what the mind tries to hide. They are the unconscious footnotes to the story your conscious mind edits so carefully. The body carries history too. Micro-expressions are informed by memory, by experience, by emotion long past and emotion present. Guilt stored in the muscles shows in a fleeting tension around the eyes. Fear learned in years, gone by flickers in a twitch of the lip. Excitement, desire, shame, they all erupt briefly, impossible to suppress completely. Even if you've rehearsed your face for decades, these momentary expressions are the unfiltered echoes of what resides inside, impossible to fully erase. And the cruel brilliance of micro-expressions is that they are often invisible to the liar. You may not see the confession in yourself because it vanishes almost as soon as it appears. But those attuned to the language of the body catch it, remember it. Let it influence their perception. You're left believing you've hidden your truth perfectly, unaware that the body has already betrayed it, that the story you never told has been whispered anyway, and that honesty does always need a voice to make itself known. Stress leaves visible traces on health and behavior, a silent signature of the battles raging inside that you pretend no one can see. You may smile, speak calmly, or nod politely, but the body doesn't lie. It records everything, catalogs tension, and leaves reminders in places you cannot always notice yourself. Wrinkles form too soon, eyes darken with fatigue, skin reacts with blemishes or paleness, and muscles tighten as if carrying invisible weights. Stress is both invisible and impossible to hide. It writes itself across your existence, and anyone who looks carefully will read it. The body reacts long before the mind admits the problem exists. Heartbeats quicken, palms sweat, breath shortens without warning. You may insist to yourself that you are calm, that everything is under control, but the body betrays you before reason arrives. Stress doesn't negotiate, it simply manifests. The tension you feel in your neck is a signal to the world. Your restless fingers speak before you can control them, and your shifting posture screams what you try so hard to suppress. Even subtle behaviors are affected. Eye contact falters, gestures become clipped, movements lose fluidity. The body, like a ledger, records everything from the minor pressures of deadlines to the crushing weight of doubt and fear. Your walk changes. You lean forward too quickly or too cautiously. Every micro decision, every unconscious shift carries the imprint of stress. You may believe your composure is intact, but the body leaves a map for anyone perceptive enough to follow. Stress is cumulative, and its traces are persistent. The lines around your eyes, the tension in your shoulders, the slight tremor in your hands, they are historical records, evidence of battles fought internally over time. You might try to mask them with humor, with charm, with practiced confidence, but the body retains memory. It does not forgive as easily as the mind might wish. Every moment of tension adds layers that cannot be erased with a smile or a nod. Even the most controlled expressions betray you. A twitch of the lip, a blink too long, a swallow caught in the throat, tiny, nearly imperceptible signs that something is wrong. Stress doesn't care about appearances. It spreads, infiltrates, and leaves fingerprints on your physical presence. You speak words of calm, but your body is already narrating the story of unrest. Those who know how to watch will see it, even if you've practiced the perfect performance. Health itself is a mirror of stress. The stomach tightens, sleep patterns shift, fatigue becomes a permanent companion. Muscles knot and strain. Even immunity falters under persistent pressure. The body signals in every system it controls, and every signal is a whisper to the world of the internal strain you are under. You cannot lie to it. You cannot hide from it. It remembers the hidden battles even when no one else does. Behavior changes subtly but unmistakably. The way you interact with others shifts under stress. Conversations feel heavier, patience thins, humor fades. You might notice yourself withdrawing slightly, speaking less, reacting faster, or overthinking small details. These are not conscious choices alone. They are the body's imprint, reaction, hardwired from tension that no rehearsed behavior can fully erase. Stress leaves trails long before you realize the path is marked. The body's betrayal is relentless, because stress is relentless. You can try to ignore it, deny it, push it away, but it manifests where it wants, when it wants. It writes across your features, your posture, your expressions, your behavior. It leaves clues in ways you don't even notice, yet they are visible to those paying attention. The body does not negotiate secrecy. Stress is a persistent storyteller, leaving behind evidence of truths your mind hopes to conceal, broadcasting the internal battles you try so desperately to hide, and doing so with an honesty that cannot be faked. Involuntary movements undermine deception, betraying truth even when every word is rehearsed and every smile perfected. You may believe that control over speech, tone, and posture is enough to convince the world of the story you're telling, but the body does not adhere to scripts. It moves on its own, responds instinctively, and leaks information before the mind can intervene. A twitch in the hand, a foot that taps unseen, a shift in weight, these are all signals your mind cannot fully govern. Tiny rebellions that speak louder than any carefully crafted lie. The most revealing gestures are often the ones you think no one notices. A blink that comes too fast or too slow, a subtle grimace, a jaw that tightens unconsciously. These are instantaneous responses to internal states that the conscious mind cannot fully suppress. They are involuntary confessions, flashing across the canvas of your body without permission. You may deny, rationalize, or explain verbally, but the body already told the truth in microseconds that feel invisible, yet are impossible to ignore if observed closely. Involuntary movements are tied to emotion, and emotion cannot be faked for long. Nervousness, fear, excitement, guilt, and anticipation all leave physical traces before reason or calculation can catch up. The hand twitches, the leg bounces, the shoulder stiffens, the head jerks. Slightly tiny movements that betray what the mind intends to conceal. You might speak calmly, but the body has already narrated the story of tension, conflict, or deceit. The more you try to control, the more these movements intensify stubbornly, refusing to cooperate with the narrative you've constructed. Even eye movements betray the truth. Pupils dilate, eyelids flutter, gaze shifts rapidly, or freezes momentarily, all unconsciously. A practiced liar may hold a gaze deliberately, but the micro-movements in and around the eyes are impossible to suppress entirely. They betray anticipation, fear of being discovered, and internal calculation. These subtle cues are the body's own language, speaking before words have a chance to lie, leaking what the mind wishes to conceal. Posture is another messenger, leaning forward too much or too little, shifting weight from foot to foot, tense or relaxing muscles involuntarily, all of it broadcasts the internal state. Involuntary movements don't follow conscious instruction. They respond to internal pressure. The body reacts to stress, excitement, guilt, or uncertainty even as the mind crafts a convincing argument. You may appear composed, but the body's microactions reveal hesitation, tension, and unspoken intent. Even small, repetitive behaviors become evidence. A finger tapping a rhythm, a leg bouncing under the table, a foot shifting slightly, all are indicators of unease or internal processing. These movements are almost automatic, bypassing conscious control, betraying your emotional state without your consent. The more you try to maintain deception, the more these small movements can amplify, creating a silent broadcast of the truth you wish to suppress. Involuntary movements also compound when multiple emotions are present. Stress may tighten the jaw while excitement quickens the pulse. Fear might make the shoulders stiffen while causing a rapid blink. Guilt can create slight shifts in weight while a finger twitches repeatedly. Each movement is a fragment, a puzzle piece, and together they form a portrait of authenticity that cannot be faked. Deception becomes a performance at odds with the involuntary signals your body insists on producing. The cruel brilliance of involuntary movements is that they are nearly impossible to hide from those who know how to observe. A single twitch can betray hesitation. A minor shift in posture can indicate uncertainty, and a fleeting facial expression can reveal emotions long before words can attempt to disguise them. You can speak convincingly, smile deliberately, and maintain composure, yet your body refuses to remain silent. It insists on revealing your inner world, exposing the truth in movements too small, too quick, too instinctive for conscious control, and doing so with a precision that makes lies fragile and short-lived physical reactions precede conscious thought. A terrifyingly honest broadcast that bypasses all attempts at control. You may prepare your words carefully, choose the right tone, rehearse every gesture, but the body does not wait for reasoning. A rapid heartbeat, a sharp inhale, the subtle stiffening of muscles, they all react before you can even process the situation. The mind may convince itself it is in command, but the body has already begun to narrate, exposing hesitation, excitement, fear, or guilt in advance of a single syllable leaving your lips. These reactions are instinctive, primal, impossible to suppress fully. Your pulse spikes before you know why, adrenaline surges before rational thought catches up, and micro-movements appear like signals from a hidden broadcaster within you. The blink of an eye, the twitch of a finger, the twitch of a lip, fleeting, almost imperceptible, yet telling more truth than any speech you could prepare. You think control is yours, but the body moves independently, anticipating emotion and circumstances that the mind has yet to consciously engage with. Breathing is one of the most revealing signals. You may attempt to speak calmly, but shallow or rapid breaths betray anxiety. A held breath signals anticipation or tension, even when the voice is steady and deliberate. The body reacts to stimuli before your mind has assigned meaning. A preconscious acknowledgement of danger, excitement, or conflict. Anyone observing closely can read these physiological cues like a map of your internal state. A story that you are unaware you are telling. Eyes are particularly honest, reacting faster than thought. They dilate, constrict, dart, or fixate before cognition can intervene. Fear, curiosity, desire, or deceit shows in the smallest flicker of the eyelids, the tiniest shift in focus, movements that are involuntary yet impossible to ignore if one pays attention. Words can be chosen, smiles rehearsed, gestures controlled, but eyes betray intention, emotion, and reaction in a fraction of a second. They are a preemptive confession before any narrative can be constructed. Posture and micro-movements follow the same principle. A subtle lean, a shift in weight, tension in the shoulders, a tightening of the jaw occur instinctively before your conscious mind has had a chance to interpret the situation. The body reacts to threats, opportunities, and social pressures in real time, transmitting information that is raw, unfiltered, and impossible to stage. Even when the face appears neutral, the body's small adjustments tell a story of engagement, withdrawal, stress, or anticipation. The timing of these reactions makes them especially revealing. They are preemptive, responding to stimuli before conscious reasoning can dictate a narrative. When lying, the body reacts to the perceived threat of exposure before the mind calculates the words to cover it. When nervous, gestures betray internal tension before you can force relaxation. When excited, subtle tremors or quickened breaths signal enthusiasm before you can control your voice or expression. These preconscious signals are involuntary, immediate, and revealing. Even gestures that seem minimal or controlled are colored by reactions that precede thought. The way fingers curl, feet tap, or shoulders shift is often unconscious, yet it communicates emotion, intent, or tension. You may convince yourself that composure is perfect, that words and smile are everything, but the body has already begun its honest broadcast. It reacts faster than the brain, faster than the self can censor, and leaves traces of truth that others can detect if they look carefully enough. The cruel precision of these reactions is that they cannot be fully rehearsed or masked. You may train yourself, practice control, and attempt to perfect a facade, but the body's conscious responses will always leak, giving hints of hesitation, excitement, fear, or deceit. They are involuntary admissions of truth, whispers of internal reality broadcast before reason intervenes. The body speaks before the mind, before the story, before the lies, and in that window of raw honesty, the truth becomes undeniable, unavoidable, and visible to anyone willing to observe closely. Authenticity can't be masked forever, no matter how clever, no matter how carefully constructed, no matter how practiced your lies. You can smile, you can nod, you can speak in calm tones, You can rehearse every phrase and gesture, but the body knows better. It remembers everything. It reacts instinctively, and it betrays the truth in ways the mind cannot fully control. Every micro-movement, every shift in posture, every flicker of the eyes, every twitch of a finger, it all conspires against deception. You may think you're convincing, but authenticity has a stubborn persistence that refuses to be silenced. It begins in the smallest details. A fleeting micro-expression flashes across your face before your conscious mind can intervene. A tremor runs through a hand, a foot taps with unconscious rhythm, a shoulder stiffens ever so slightly, all before you realize the truth is slipping out. The body is faster than your lies. It reacts instinctively, exposing what the mind wants hidden. You may construct a story, but your flesh refuses to participate, leaking honesty in movement, so subtle they are nearly imperceptible, yet unmistakable to anyone paying attention. Even when you believe your composure is perfect, authenticity bubbles through. Your heartbeat accelerates under stress, your breath shortens, your muscles tighten or relax involuntarily. The mind may rationalize, control, and script, but the body reacts according to instinct and memory. The tension in the shoulders, the flicker of the eyes, the slight shift in weight, they are impossible to hide indefinitely. Your body archives every emotion, every thought, every moment of hesitation or conflict, and it communicates them whether you want it to or not. The eyes are particularly revealing. They do not lie because they react before reasoning arrives. Pupils dilate, eyelids twitch, gaze flicks to corners, to exits, to places that hold meaning before your brain has processed what is happening. These tiny, involuntary shifts betray emotion, fear, guilt, excitement, or doubt before a single word has been uttered. You can direct your gaze, you can fix it, you can train it, but micro movements in the eyes will always hint at what you truly feel. Authenticity whispers, and the eyes are the loudest conduit. Breath is another confessor. Shallow, rapid inhalations, sudden sighs, uneven rhythm. They all reflect what the mind cannot fully mask. You may speak with confidence, but the chest pulses with truth, giving subtle indications of tension, anticipation, or fear. Each inhale and exhale carries a story that cannot be edited or rehearsed, a revelation of the internal state that spills into the external world without permission. Your body speaks in whispers that echo louder than the most carefully chosen words. Even posture communicates what lies beneath. A slight forward lean, a small retreat, a subtle tilt of the head, crossed arms, shifting weight, all broadcast honesty before the lips articulate it. The body archives internal experience and presents it involuntarily. Stress, excitement, doubt, and fear ripple through muscles and joints, leaving visible signs even when words claim composure. The mind may resist, may rationalize, may pretend, but the body will betray reality. In every nuanced adjustment, in every twitch, in every micro-movement, micro-expressions and involuntary movements compound, forming a network of signals that collectively reveal what lies beneath. A twitch of the mouth, a blink that lingers too long, a fleeting lift of a brow, these fragments of truth coalesce into a pattern. No matter how rehearsed your performance, the body cannot erase its instinctive memory of experience, its involuntary responses to emotion, its subtle acknowledgement of internal conflict. Authenticity emerges in these details, relentless and precise, impossible to suppress indefinitely. And the cruel irony is that even when you think you have successfully masked everything, the body has already told its story. The smallest muscles, the tiniest shifts, the involuntary reactions they speak. A language older than words, older than culture, older than conscious thought. They reveal hesitation, emotion, conflict, and truth. Authenticity is a force that cannot be silenced. The more you attempt to conceal, the more the body insists on speaking, leaving traces of what is real, of what cannot be hidden, of the truth that inevitably demands to be seen and understood. You know, life's kind of funny, isn't it? One moment, you've got all these people around you, laughing, smiling, acting like they're your biggest supporters, and the next, poof, gone. Like they were never really there. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. You know, people, they're funny. They walk into your life like they belong there, like they've always belonged there. They smile, they talk, they make promises. Oh, the promises. I'll always be there for you. We're in this together. Nothing can change what we have. Words, just words. Pretty little sentences people throw around like they mean something, and for a while, you believe them. You believe that these people, the ones who clap when you win, the ones who pat you on the back, the ones who swear they'd never leave, are permanent. But that's the thing, isn't it? Not everyone is meant to stay. You see, people are like shadows. When the sun's out, when everything's bright, when life is going just the way you want it to, they're right there beside you. But the moment darkness creeps in, the moment things get cold, get quiet, get real, that's when they disappear. And you stand there, confused, wondering where they went, what changed, why they suddenly lost interest in the friendship, the bond, the connection they swore was unbreakable. But maybe the real question isn't why did they leave? Maybe it's why were they even there in the first place? Some people, they're just passing through, a temporary distraction, a lesson disguised as loyalty. And life, it has a funny way of peeling back the mask, showing you who's real and who's just a well-rehearsed performance. The ones who stay, the ones who truly belong in your story, they don't leave when things get tough. They don't run when the spotlight dims. They don't need a reason to stand by your side. But the others, the ones who fade away, the ones who turn their backs, the ones who suddenly forget your name when you're no longer useful to them, they were never meant to stay. They were just filling space. And yet people cry over this. They beg, they plead, they ask the universe to bring those people back, to fix whatever went wrong. They think it's a mistake, an accident, a cruel twist of fate. But what if, just what if, it wasn't a mistake at all? What if life, the universe, fate, whatever you want to call it, was simply cleaning up for you? What if those people left not because you did something wrong, but because they never truly belonged in your life to begin with? See, you don't lose real people. You don't lose the ones who are meant for you. They don't vanish just because the road gets bumpy, just because the fun times stop for a while. The real ones, they stay, they fight, they weather the storm with you, not against you. But the others, the ones who drop you the moment things aren't convenient anymore, they're like dead leaves in the wind, meant to be blown away, meant to be forgotten. And the best part? Oh, the best part is that they always reveal themselves. Always. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, the mask slips. One day they show their true colors, and when that happens, when they walk away like you never mattered, you'll realize they never did either. Loss. Such a funny little thing, isn't it? People act like it's the worst thing that could ever happen to them. Like the whole world should stop spinning just because someone walked away, because something changed, because life didn't go exactly the way they planned. They sit there staring at the empty space where someone used to be, wondering what went wrong, what they could have done differently, why things had to fall apart. But maybe, just maybe, things didn't fall apart at all. Maybe they were just falling into place. See, people don't like change. Oh no, they hate it. They want things to stay just the way they are. Safe, familiar, predictable, even if it's bad for them, even if it's toxic, even if it's holding them back. They'd rather stay in the comfort of what they know than face the unknown, than take a step into something different, something better. But life doesn't work like that. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't ask for permission. It just moves. It shifts. It takes away the things, the people, the places that no longer serve you. And what do people do? They fight it. They cling to the past like it's all they have, like letting go would mean losing a part of themselves. But here's the thing. When life removes someone from your world, it's not punishment. It's not some cruel joke. It's making room for something new, for something real, for something that actually belongs. But people don't see it like that. No, they cry over what's gone, over what's missing. They don't realize that if something was truly meant for them, it wouldn't have left in the first place. But the best part is watching them try to bring it back. Oh, the desperation, the bargaining, the way they twist themselves into knots just to hold on to something that's already slipping through their fingers. I'll change. I'll be better. Just one more chance. As if forcing something to stay will make it right. As if keeping a broken thing together will somehow make it whole again. But life doesn't work like that, does it? When something is meant to leave, it leaves. And the more you fight it, the more it hurts. But people never learn. They keep running in circles, chasing ghosts, holding on to hands that already let go. They don't realize that every time something walks away, it's clearing a path. Every time a door closes, it's locking away what was never supposed to be yours. Every time you lose something, you're actually gaining something else. You just don't see it yet, because all you're looking at is the absence, the gap, the loss. But what about the space that's being created? What about the possibilities, the new faces, the new chances that never would have had room to exist if the old ones hadn't left? People act like losing someone is the worst thing that could happen. But tell me, what's worse? Losing someone who wasn't right for you? Who was holding you back? Who wasn't meant to be part of your future? Or keeping the wrong people, keeping the wrong situations just because you're too afraid to let go? That's the real tragedy, isn't it? Holding on to what no longer fits, just because you're too scared to see what happens when you finally make space for something better. People, oh, they're such wonderful little actors, aren't they? Always smiling, always nodding, always saying the right things at the right time. They clap when you win, they cheer when you shine, they swear up and down that they've got your back. But here's the fun part. You never really know who's real and who's just playing the part. Not at first. Oh no, at first, they're perfect. They wear their masks so well, you'd swear they were made just for you. But masks, they crack. They always crack. And when they do, that's when you see them for what they really are. People love to pretend. They pretend to care, pretend to support you, pretend like they actually want to see you happy. And you believe them. You think, wow, I finally found someone who understands me, someone who's in my corner. But here's the thing. Most people aren't in your corner. They're just in the crowd. watching, waiting. Some are hoping you rise so they can stand next to you in the light. Others, they're just waiting for you to fall so they have something to talk about. But either way, they're never really with you, not in the way you think. And how do you know? How do you tell the difference between the ones who mean it and the ones who are just playing the game? Oh, don't worry. You won't have to do a thing. Life will do it for you. Give it time. Success, failure, struggle, these are life's little truth serums. Nothing exposes people faster than watching you win or watching you lose. When you're winning, the fakes come running. They smile bigger. They laugh louder. They make sure they're seen standing next to you. Look at us, we're such good friends. But start losing just a little bit. Watch what happens. The smiles get smaller. The calls stop coming. The excitement in their voice disappears. And before you know it, they're gone. Just like that. No explanation, no big farewell. They just vanish. Like they were never really there to begin with. And you sit there, confused, hurt, asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Oh, but that's the wrong question, my friend. The real question is, what took them so long to leave? Because the truth, they were never meant to stay. They were never there for you. They were there for the image, for the perks, for the moment. They loved what you could do for them, not who you are. And the second you stopped being useful, the second things got inconvenient, they showed you their true color. But the funny thing, the really funny thing, you should be thanking them. No, really. Because every fake person who walks away is doing you a favor. They're cleaning house. They're making room for something real, something solid, something worth keeping. But most people don't see it like that. No, they mourn, they beg, they try to fix what was never real in the first place. They hold on to ghosts, to illusions, to memories that were built on lies. And for what? For the comfort of pretending things were real when deep down they know they never were? See, the thing about fakes is they can't help themselves. They always reveal who they are. Give them enough time, enough space, enough moments where they don't get what they want, and they'll show you exactly what's beneath the mask. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend you don't know. You can't go back to the illusion. And that's the moment, right there. When you realize that losing them, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend you don't know. You can't go back to the illusion. And that's the moment, right there, when you realize that losing them, oh, it wasn't a loss at all. It was the best thing that could have happened. Funny thing about people, they think when someone walks away, when something falls apart, when a door slams shut in their face, it's some kind of punishment. Like life is out to get them, like the universe has a personal vendetta against their happiness. Oh, the way they sit there sulking, replaying every moment in their head, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. But maybe, just maybe, nothing went wrong at all. Maybe things happened exactly the way they were supposed to. Maybe what felt like rejection was actually protection. See, people don't like to admit it, but they have a habit of holding on to the wrong things, the wrong people, the wrong places, the wrong situations. They get comfortable, they get attached. They convince themselves that just because something has been in their life for a long time, it's supposed to stay forever. They ignore the signs, the little red flags waving in their face, the gut feeling whispering, this isn't right. Oh, but they don't listen. No, they tell themselves stories. It'll get better. Maybe I'm overthinking. I just need to try harder. And so they stay. They stay in friendships that drain them, in relationships that suffocate them, in environments that slowly, quietly kill them from the inside out. All because they're too afraid to let go. But life doesn't wait around for you to make the right choice. If you don't clean up the mess, life will do it for you. And when it does, people don't like that. No, they get angry, they get sad, they call it unfair. But what they don't see, what they refuse to see, is that every loss, every goodbye, every so-called betrayal was never meant to break them. It was meant to save them. That person who walked away without a second thought, they were never loyal to you in the first place. That friend who suddenly turned into a stranger, they were never real to begin with. That situation that fell apart the moment you started growing, it was never strong enough to hold the real you. But you wouldn't have left, would you? No, you would have stayed. You would have convinced yourself to keep trying, to keep fixing, to keep hoping that somehow, some way, things would magically change. But life saw what you refused to see. And life decided to do for you what you couldn't do for yourself. It removed what was weighing you down. It cleared out the dead weight. And instead of thanking it, instead of breathing a sigh of relief, you call it unfair. People always cry over the doors that close, never realizing what was waiting behind the ones that just opened. They beg for things to go back to the way they were, never questioning if the way things were was actually good for them. They fight to keep the very things that were hurting them, all because they don't know how to exist without the pain they've grown so used to. And that's the real joke, isn't it? That people will go to war for their own suffering, will hold on to it like a lifeline, instead of seeing it for what it really is, a chain that needed to be broken. Life doesn't take people away to punish you. It removes them because they were never meant to go where you're going. It closes doors not to lock you out, but to guide you somewhere better. But most people, they're too busy crying over what's gone to notice what's coming. Too busy looking at the past to realize the future just got a whole lot brighter. But hey, that's their problem. It's growth. Oh, people love to talk about it. They throw the word around like confetti. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I'm becoming the best version of myself. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Real pretty. But what they don't tell you, what they don't want to admit, is that growth, real growth, it costs something. And the price, it's never cheap. See, people think they can grow and keep everything the same, keep the same friends, the same habits, the same routines, the same comforting little lies they tell themselves at night. They think they can level up without letting go. But that's not how it works. No. If you want to grow, if you want to become something more, you have to let go of everything that keeps you small. And that's the part people don't like, because letting go, that hurts, that stings, that rips holes in the version of reality they've spent years convincing themselves is real. But here's the kicker: not everything and not everyone is meant to grow with you. Some people, they liked you better when you were small, when you were easy to control, when you didn't ask too many questions. They were comfortable with you as long as you stayed at their level. But the moment you start changing, The moment you start seeing things differently, wanting more, becoming more, oh, suddenly you're different. Suddenly you're acting strange. They look at you like you betrayed them, but let's be honest. The only betrayal was that you stopped betraying yourself just to fit in with them. And then there's the guilt. Oh, the delicious little guilt trip they'll try to put you on. You've changed. You're leaving us behind. You think you're better than us now. And for a second, just a second, you'll feel bad. You'll wonder if you're the problem, if maybe you should shrink back down, if maybe it'd be easier to just stay the same, keep the peace, make everyone happy. But let me tell you a little secret. People who love you, who really love you, they don't fear your growth. Do they resent it? They don't try to hold you back. The ones who do, they were never really in your corner to begin with. Growth exposes people. Oh, it shines a big bright light on all the things they don't want you to see. It forces them to face the truth, that they liked you better when you needed them, when you doubted yourself, when you played small so they could feel big. And when they can't handle that truth, they leave. Or they make you the villain, or they try to pull you back down, make you question yourself, make you believe that staying the same is somehow noble, somehow right. But tell me, what's so noble about living a life that's too small for you? People don't like to hear this, but if you're growing, truly growing, you're going to lose some people. That's just how it goes. It's not personal, it's not cruel, it's just life. You don't fit in the same places anymore. You don't laugh at the same jokes. You don't find comfort in the same old tired conversations. You start craving more, needing more. And the ones who aren't willing to grow with you, they'll fall away. But most people don't want to accept that. No, they want both. They want to grow, but keep the same people, the same lifestyle, the same way of thinking. And when that doesn't work, when things start slipping through their fingers, oh, they panic. They try to drag the past with them, try to force old pieces into a new puzzle, try to make it all fit the way it used to, but it doesn't. It can't. Because growth is a door that only opens one way. And once you walk through it, you can't go back. Not really. You can pretend, you can force yourself into spaces that no longer fit. You can bite your tongue, laugh at the jokes, sit at the same tables, but deep down, you'll know, you'll feel it. You don't belong there anymore. And the longer you try to hold on to what's already slipping away, the more it's going to hurt. But hey, people love their comfort zones, don't they? Even when those comfort zones, people love control. Oh, they cling to it like a lifeline. They want to decide who stays, who goes, what happens, when it happens, how it happens. They think if they just plan enough, if they just try hard enough, they can keep everything in place, make sure nothing unexpected happens. But the joke is that control is the biggest illusion of all. They were never in charge, not really. See, life doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't knock politely and wait for you to open the door. No, life kicks the door in, drags out the people who don't belong, and doesn't even bother cleaning up the mess it leaves behind. And you? Oh, you stand there, dazed, confused, wondering what just happened. Why did they leave? Why did things fall apart? Why does it feel like everything I had is slipping through my fingers? But maybe that's exactly what was supposed to happen. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. But here's the catch. Most of them, they're not meant to stay. They're just passing through, playing their part, teaching their lesson, and when the time comes, they leave. That's the design. That's how it works. But people, oh, they fight it. They hold on tighter, they beg, they try to rewrite the story, force an ending that was never supposed to happen. They don't realize that when something or someone is being pulled away, it's not a punishment, it's a redirection. But the best part is watching them try to hold on, watching them bargain, watching them make excuses. They'll tell themselves anything to avoid the truth, that life is moving forward with or without them. Maybe if I was different, maybe if I try harder, maybe if I just give them one more chance. And so they cling, they chase, they exhaust themselves trying to keep what's already gone. But the punchline is that holding on doesn't keep people in your life. It just makes the goodbye that much more painful. Because when someone is meant to go, they will go, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much history you have, no matter how hard you fight. And if you're lucky, really lucky, you'll realize that losing them wasn't the tragedy you thought it was. It was freedom. It was protection. It was making space for something better.